Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Phantom Knights Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for post the April 2019 ban list. Wanted to do an update to this deck for quite some time now, and with the latest ban list, we actually had a card hit for the deck. It was the rank up spell for the Phantom Knights. The biggest issue I think with the spell was not actually to deal with the Phantom Knight monsters, more so just the Exceed monsters you could summon out with the card and just completely shut your opponent down. It was very unfair, that's for sure. But I wanted to bring an update to the deck. I would say one is definitely due with all the changes that have happened recently. I tried to stick as pure to the Phantom Knight aspect of the deck as I could. Try not to mix in any of the other archetypes at the moment because I know a lot of you like the pure versions of the deck, and the main point of it is to stick with the Exceed summoning of your different rank 3 and sometime rank 4 monsters. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So to start off, for the Phantom Knight monsters, I run 3 Phantom Knights Ancient Cloak. For all the Phantom Knight monsters, they have different effects, whether they be from the hand, on the field, but they all have different ones that also work with the graveyard. So with the Ancient Cloak, it has an attack gain effect by switching it to defense for a dark monster on the field, and when it's in the graveyard, you can banish this card to add one the Phantom Knights card from your deck to your hand, except for Ancient Cloak, and you can only use each effect of Ancient Cloak once per turn. So you have your search for the Phantom Knights cards from your deck to your hand. Very, very helpful depending on what card you want to go for. For your plays, the attack boost doesn't happen as often. Most of the time I just rely on the search, but with that search I can go for important cards like the Phantom Knights of Silent Boots. If you control a Phantom Knights monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can always special summon Boots once per turn this way, and you can banish this card from your graveyard, add one Phantom Knight spell or trap from your deck to your hand, and you can only use this effect of Boots once per turn. You can search out Fogblade or any of your other important Phantom Knight traps in the deck. You used to be able to search out the rank up spell, sadly no longer with the ban list, of course, but the special summon definitely does come in handy if you can get one of your other Phantom Knight monsters out on the field and then make use of those 2 monsters for your rank up play. And lastly, for the Phantom Knight monsters in the main deck that I like to run, I run 3 of the Ragged Gloves. With Ragged Gloves, a Dark Xyz that was summoned using this card on the field. If it was Exceed summoned, it gains 1000 attack, so you can give a real boost to your Breaksword if you do this. And also, you can banish this card from your graveyard to send one Phantom Knights card from your deck to the graveyard. And like the other 2 Phantom Knights, you can only use each effect of Ragged Gloves once per turn, but you have more setup with this card as well, with the Phantom Knight traps having different effects in the graveyard as well for special summon assistance. It's a definite key play for sure. I just like to run 3 of all the numbers just for guarantees that you open up some of these to work on those plays, and just to have a good amount of cards to make use of in the graveyard as well later on. And then just for some more of the generic support, like I said, with this deck I wanted to stick to as pure as I could, but still needed some monster support to assist with some of your plays, including your link plays that you might want to try out with the deck as well. I run 3 Marauding Captain. Just being an additional warrior definitely does help, since the Phantom Knights are also warriors. I would say the one main negative part about the Marauding Captain is that it is a earth monster, so it does limit you in that sense, but still very, very helpful with its special summon from the hand. Same goes for Junk Forward, just itself being an easy special summon if you control no monsters. So another definite 3 of in the deck just for the easy rank 3 Exceed plays that you can do with this card. Breaksword only requires 2 level 3 monsters to make, so definitely helpful with these in the deck. I also run 3 Kagamusha Knight. With this one, when you normal summon it, when you normal a level 3 monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. So with all these cards, you just have special summon options available to you very, very easily, and then just easy setup for your Phantom Knight cards as well. And then just for additional ones, since I do run the sold lineup as well, going with those warrior monsters is a key play for that card as well, if you want to go with a sold first and then your Exceed plays. So I also run the 3 Blue Mountain Butter Spy. It cannot be normal summon or set. When you normal summon a warrior monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. It cannot be used as a synchro material, but you're mostly going to use it for the link summon of your Isolde and maybe some of your other monsters in the extra deck. So very, very helpful for that special summon along with all the other generic warriors we run. And then for the last of the monsters, just one Armageddon Knight. You can set up your Phantom Knight monsters in your graveyard and then use their effects when you banish them with this card. Another Searcher, but once again, just one on the ban list, so we have to use what we got for the deck. And that is it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells, I run 2 Allure of Darkness. Aside from the Earths, all the monsters in the deck are dark, so very, very easy to use the draw power of this card. Especially just 2 though. I find that 3 gets kind of cloggy. You're going through your draws, but you should have a good setup with the monsters you have. I just like the Allures for that additional draw if you just need a different type of card in your hand at that specific moment during the game. And for a couple other one-ofs, I run 1 Foolish Burial, just for the easy send effect, like Armageddon Knight. Monster Reborn, just easy special summon of some of your resources in the graveyard as well. Reinforcements of the army, just to be able to search out those cards also. And also, I run 1 Burial from a different dimension. Just the, recycle. You banish a lot with your Phantom Knight monsters in the deck, so being able to put them back and reuse with Burial definitely keeps me in the game when I am experiencing some late games, especially, just to keep using those cards in the duel as well. And one more of the staple one-ofs, just 1 Upstart Goblin. With all the searching, you can do just this additional draw power to get through the deck a little faster. Definitely does come in handy. And since we are playing the Isolde build in the deck, I am running 1 of each of the equip spells, the Moonmere Shield, the Phoenix Blade, the Dimension Reincarnation, and 1 Living Fossil. Just the 4 for the fact that most of the time I'll be going for level 3, so just having this option with the Isolde for that time during the game definitely does come in handy. And that is it for the spells. When I move on to the traps, I run 3 Phantom Knight's Fogblade. It is your effect negation of the deck, being able to stop your opponent's monsters and prevent them from attacking. And the fact that this card is searchable with boots is very, very helpful for sure. You can get some very good setup with this card and also with your Link monster, which we run in the deck, Rusty Bardish as well, for the fact that it can filter through and you can set up a good amount of Fogblades on the field with that card as well. And for more additional searches, just for maybe easier special summonings early on in the game as well, I run 2 Phantom Knights of Shade Brigandine. With this one, if you can special summon this card in defense as a normal monster, and if you control no traps in your graveyard, you can activate it the turn you set it. So with boots, if you have it early game and no traps in your graveyard, it's just that 1 additional monster that can help, like I said, get into a lot of different resources that you may want to go for in the game. And lastly, just for a few one-ofs that I do like running with the pure build of the Phantom Knights, just 1 sword and 1 wing, just extra protection and extra special summons, since the Phantom Knight traps do have the additional plays of banishing from the graveyard to give you special summons of your Phantom Knight monsters, with Brigandine being the exception, but being able to set up your Fogblades and all those cards as well definitely do help for your reuse of the monsters in the graveyard once they're there as well. And being able to shuffle them, recycle them back with Burial from a different dimension definitely does help as well. And that is it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck, I have 1 Phantom Knight Breaksword. I have no clue where I put the rest of mine. I do want to run between 2 and 3 with the, pure version of the Phantom Knights. So I'll show what Exceed monsters I would take out for an additional number of Breakswords. But a very important card, main Exceed, you go into for the deck, being able to destroy by detaching 1 Exceed material and target 1 card you control and 1 card your opponent controls and destroy them. And if this Exceed card is destroyed, you can target 2 the Phantom Knight monsters with the same level in your graveyard and special summon them and increase their levels by 1. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Dark. So you can even target Breaksword itself with its own effect for the destruction, and then get the special summon of the Phantom Knight monsters as well, and then go into your rank 4 Exceed plays, which we run in the deck as well. And I also run 2 Dante, Traveler of the Burning Abyss, just easier, set up in your graveyard for a lot of cards as well. But if you wanted to run an additional Breaksword, I would reduce the number of Dantes to 1. I feel that's really all you need for the deck, but like I said, I definitely do want additional numbers of Breaksword to play as well in the deck. If you were going to go for a 3rd copy of Breaksword, I would either take out any of the other 1-ofs for the rank 3s I run, so 1 Mech Beast Grandpulse, 1 Leviair, the Sea Dragon, and 1 Nightmare Shark. I definitely do like Leviair with the Banish, so between these 2, Nightmare Shark and Grandpulse, those would be my choices for the 3rd option of Breaksword if you wanted to run a 3rd version. And then for the rank 4s, I have 1 Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon and 1 Time Thief Redoer. With Redoer especially, the fact that Brigadine can also be a level 4 monster if you can make that play happen. But most of the time, these are here for the fact that Breaksword gives you the level 4 Phantom Knights when you destroy them and special summon them back to the field. So very, very useful to have these in the deck to use. And that is it for the Exceed monsters. For the Link monsters, going back and forth between 1 and 2, Rusty, Bardish. With this one, you need 2 more Dark monsters to make, and it also lets you swap back and forth between your Phantom Knights cards with your spell and traps. Very searchable and very helpful, and also having the destruction effect when you special summon one to the field on its arrows. And I also run the One of Sold, this with all the warrior monsters we run in the deck, very, very helpful, just to get additional special summons and adding the warriors to the hand. And then for more of the generic links, I run 1 Wee Riches Apprentice, just with all the dark monsters and the recycle can do, and plus the power boosts also in the deck. Also 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, and also 1 Borolo Dragon, and 1 Saryuja. I like the Saryuja in the deck just for the fact that if you open up some of the equip spells, you can shuffle them back into the deck to reuse better with cards like Isolde as well. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like I said, very happy that I was able to bring you a pure as I could version of the Phantom Knight deck. Like I said, I had to mix in some of the other support as well to make it work, but I wanted to stick to that and no other archetypes mixed in with it, and I hope you all enjoyed it as well. Until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.